Who would have thought that one ordinary school day could shatter so many lives, only to rebuild them with a power stronger than fear itself? Stay with me until the very end, because this isn't just a story, it's a lesson about courage, love, and the unstoppable will of those who refuse to let evil win. And if this story touches your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because stories like these deserve to be heard by everyone. It began in a quiet suburban town, in a school where a young teacher named Emily had just started her career. Emily was barely 24, passionate about teaching, and filled with hope for the future. She carried a smile that lit up her classroom, making even the most reluctant students feel safe and encouraged. But not everyone shared her light-hearted spirit. Some students, older and fueled by arrogance, saw her kindness as weakness. They mocked her gentle voice, whispered insults behind her back, and sometimes scribbled cruel words on her whiteboard. At first, Emily ignored them, believing her patience would eventually win them over. But cruelty often feeds on silence. The bullying escalated, shoves in the hallway, ripped lesson plans, and malicious rumors spreading across the school. One afternoon, things took a horrifying turn. The group of bullies cornered her in the parking lot after classes. Their laughter turned into shouts, and then into violence. No teacher, no security, no one was there to intervene. Emily was struck, shoved against the ground, her head hitting the pavement. When she stopped moving, the bullies froze for a moment, then fled. Emily was left in the silence of that lot, her life hanging by a thread. Fate, however, had other plans. Passing by that very lot was Daniel, a single dad and a veteran who had seen the darkest sides of war but carried a heart built for compassion. He was picking up his daughter from after-school tutoring when he saw her motionless body. The sight made his chest tighten, not just because she was a stranger, but because he had seen too many comrades fall in battle the same way. Without hesitation, he rushed to her side, checked her pulse, and began first aid. His steady hands, trained by years of military service, kept her breathing until the ambulance arrived. The news of Emily's coma shook the entire community. Her students wept. The parents demanded answers. And in the shadows, the bullies remained silent, too cowardly to admit what they had done. Daniel couldn't shake the image of Emily's lifeless body from his mind. He visited the hospital daily, sometimes bringing his daughter along, sitting quietly by her side. He told her stories of resilience, of how people rise even when it feels impossible, whispering words of encouragement into her still ears. His daughter, only 10, drew little cards filled with hearts and messages like, "Wake up, we need you." Then came the day Emily's mother arrived. Margaret was a woman of steel, widowed, hardened by life's struggles, and fiercely protective of her only daughter. When she learned what happened, her grief turned into fury. She stormed into the school, demanding justice, demanding accountability. But the administration tried to hush her, hiding behind policies and bureaucratic excuses. They wanted to protect the school's reputation more than they cared about Emily's life. That was their mistake. Margaret wasn't a woman who bowed to silence. She gathered evidence, found the names of the bullies, and exposed everything: emails, reports ignored by the principal, testimonies from other students who had witnessed Emily being harassed. With every revelation, the school's carefully built image crumbled. Parents who once trusted the system now turned against it. Margaret's rage became a movement, and soon the story spread beyond their town. Reporters came, cameras flashed, and the school board could no longer bury the truth. Meanwhile, Daniel stood by Emily's side, holding her hand through every uncertain day. His daughter often asked him, "Daddy, do you think she'll wake up?" And Daniel would answer, "Yes, because fighters never give up." And Emily is a fighter. Weeks later, as the storm raged outside, something miraculous happened. Emily stirred. Her fingers twitched against Daniel's palm. Slowly, painfully, she opened her eyes. The first person she saw was him, the stranger who had refused to let her slip away. Tears filled her eyes, though her voice was weak. "Why did you stay?" she whispered. Daniel smiled, his voice soft but steady. "Because nobody deserves to fight alone." Recovery was long and painful, but Emily wasn't alone anymore. Daniel, his daughter, and Margaret formed a circle around her, shielding her from the darkness that had once consumed her life. The bullies faced consequences, the school's administration was held accountable, and Emily, though scarred, found a new strength she never knew she had. She returned to teaching months later, Not as the shy young woman who once endured whispers, but as a survivor who carried the power of her story in every lesson. By the end, the town wasn't just inspired by Emily's comeback. They were reminded of something greater, that courage doesn't always wear a uniform, but sometimes it does. That mothers can move mountains when their children are hurt. And that even in the darkest moments, the kindness of a stranger can be the light that saves a life. And now, dear viewer, if Emily's story moved you, if Daniel's courage touched your heart, and if Margaret's strength gave you hope, then let this story remind you of one thing: we all have the power to stand up against wrong. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story, because somewhere out there, someone might need to hear it today.